When I was a boy in Holdingville, Oklahoma, my father, who was an avid hunter, always kept 2 bird dogs in the backyard. And I always took care of them for my dad. And I started quail hunting.
Boone Pickens bought what would be the first piece of his Roberts County ranch in 1971. Now you have to remember, in 1971, the prevailing conservation ethic in Texas was pray for rain in April, May, June, and July. He almost immediately started taking the cattle off, feeding the quail, and ultimately building miles and miles of water line that would substitute for the periodic lack of rain, which we all experience in Texas. You know, when Boone's in, he's all in. And that, I think, is what makes him Boone Pickens.
The Mesa Vista Ranch is up to 68,000 acres. Our main goal here is quail habitat. The deer and the turkeys flourish with it. He's had it in an extensive management program for the last, 30 years. So as he's bought it, he's turned it back into wildlife. It's got about 25 miles of water lines, and then all the lake systems that they put in down the river, little oases that he's put in for the quail and the deer and everything. Everything is just turned back to Mother Nature and flourished. He's turned it into wildlife paradise.
Mesa Vista Ranch, on the back of their caps it says world's best quail hunting, and he could lay claim to that. It really is some incredible habitat. Those plum thickets and draws up there are just incredible quail factories, and he's been able to cultivate that, and people are always interested in seeing what Mr. Pickens is doing and what his country looks like, and it really is a jewel.
When I met the man Boone Pickens, it was really an amazing experience. So I went out to his wonderful ranch, and we were driving around. I'll never forget this. I made the mistake of asking him, I said, Boone, you got a fish guy, who's your quail guy? Well, he immediately stopped the truck, turned around and looked at me in the back seat, and he said, I'm the quail guy. And I said, I really like this guy. He's so passionate about it, and he considers himself to be an expert, and he really does ask a lot of questions of the scientists like Dale Rollins and others, and he's cooperated with the Rolling Plains Quail Research Ranch and Foundation, and he's been very generous with his resources.
Boone has a fabulous sense of humor. He loves to laugh, he loves to tell jokes, he loves to hear other people laugh.
Oh, 3 or 4 years ago, I'm in Washington at an event, and a guy comes up and said, you probably don't remember me. He said, I'm Johnny Bench. And I said, I remember you. I said, Grand National Quail Shoot 1982. I said, you owe me $20. And he said, I owe you $20.
He loves to tell you outrageous stories and make you believe what he's saying. And you wouldn't believe it if anybody else told you, but you might believe it if Boone Pickens told you. The phrase, for his age, does not apply to Boone Pickens. The first time I hunted quail with Boone, I was 44 and he was 64. He could outwalk me, outrun me, and outshoot me. I naively had the thought that, you know, this guy's pretty good for his age. 10 years later, he could still outwalk me, outrun me, and outshoot me.
And I'll say this about Boone Pickens, I've never met anyone as committed as he is. I've never met anyone more ethical, more principled, and more committed to doing things the right way at the highest level than Boone Pickens. I'm sure that on occasion Boone Pickens has missed a quail or two, but I don't think I remember him missing one while I was hunting with him.
Boom! You give that one to me?
Yes, sir. Good job.
Boone has taught many of us at Oklahoma State University, and myself included, a lot about stewardship. He wants the United States to be better, and he's pushed it with his own money and his own plans with the Pickens plan. He wants the ranch to be better, and he's pushed it with his own money and making through conservation. He wants Oklahoma State University to be better, and so he certainly pushed it with his own plans and certainly with his own money. Boone is truly an iconic American, and he's an American legend in all of these fields.
And I would say that the environment, wildlife, everybody that has anything to do with preservation of the land could not have a better friend than Boone Pickens. He loves the outdoors, he loves spending time there, and I don't think there's anything he'd rather do in life than hunt quail.
There were times in this process when I lacked the money to make improvements or take advantage of available land purchases. And there were other times when I had the money, but additional land was not available. Now I've got the money and the land, and the problem is time. I'm about to run out of time, is what's going to happen to me. Mesa Vista is a story that's taken 40 years to write, but one thing that's never changed is my love for the land and the quail.